This weekend saw the end to the Junior Olympics. Top youth athletes from across the country gathered here in Des Moines to fight for gold. Local 5's Brandon Wynn caught up with athletes from the Metro to share what it means to represent Des Moines.
Des Moines has hosted the Junior Olympics a record number of times, which the organizers say is a great honor.
Hundreds of athletes from ages 5 to 17 all across the nation came together in Des Moines for the biggest youth sporting competition in America.
We've had athletes come through here that have gone on to do amazing things and win Olympic medals.
Troy McNeil with the Amateur Athletic Union says it's special to host the games in Des Moines once again.
Iowa's very welcoming to us, and the venues are top-notch. Athletes get to experience what it would be like right here on a college surface and on a surface where Olympians are stopping by.
Young athletes from the Metro are also in the mix throughout the 16 events the competition offers.
I just want to make it to the Olympics, and I think that would be a really great accomplishment for me.
Alicia Davison from Urbandale got 4th in the 80-meter hurdles. The kicker? She's only 12. But Davison is not the only one with world-class athlete aspirations.
I like it because it's like I've ran here multiple times before. State and Drake, they're all here, so it's like I already know the lay of the land.
16-year-old Morgan Fisher from Ankeny runs the 400-meter hurdles, and she shared advice for those hoping to follow in her footsteps.
Keep training like every single day, like I've been training all summer and just working hard and like set your mind to it and you can do it.
The event did wrap up Saturday, and Des Moines has now hosted the event a record 8 times out of the event's 60-year history.
You got to keep working hard. You got to work hard every day, every practice. You can't go one practice without working hard. You have to put in the work on your own when nobody else is paying attention.
In Des Moines, Brandon Wynn, Local 5 News.
Well, this year, NASCAR race weekend impressed once again, bringing in a second straight sellout on a Sunday. With the Iowa Corn 350 being the grand finale, the focus now slowly turns to next year. As Local 5's Trey Redfield explains, it will feature plenty of fireworks.
It's another year where NASCAR in Iowa has brought havoc. It's brought excitement, and more importantly, it's brought 3 great races to the Iowa Speedway. But with the Iowa Corn 350 slowly wrapping up right now, the focus has slowly turned to 2027. It's when NASCAR in Iowa will be featured on 4th of July weekend. The countdown starting a little earlier going into next year. It's an excitement that Eric Peterson, the president of the Iowa Speedway, could not hold together on Friday night before the JR & Co. 150.
I have to keep reminding myself that we got to get through this race weekend because I'm already focused on what we're doing for next year. It's going to be so much fun on 4th of July weekend. And with the improvements, the facility improvements, the repave, everything that's going on in the off season, it's really going to showcase racing in Iowa, racing at Iowa Speedway with the return of the Cup Series.
NASCAR in Ag Land. It makes the brightest stars second guess themselves too and ask, is this really heaven?
Yeah, it's like so total field of dreams of NASCAR, right? There's a racetrack in the middle of a cornfield, and people show up. It's really fun for us to see that, and the racing's always been great here.
You know, you have more energy at certain places than you do others, and sometimes that's because you have one race. Sometimes that's because the environment's really good, just different factors. But I think having one race out here and it being on the 4th has potential to be a fun weekend.
The Iowa Speedway is putting its chips into the center of the table, trying to win over Iowans on the 4th of July. But as some racers see it, what about Knoxville?
Selfishly, I'm hoping they can somehow change a sprint car race so we can go watch that too during the weekend. I enjoy that while we're here.
Yeah, no, I get excited about coming here to Iowa. Just it's a cool racetrack, cool, just kind of local feel to the venue, and then we got everything going on in Knoxville close by. So yeah, this is a cool couple weeks, and glad to be a part of it.
Knoxville's move may come and it may stay put, but here in Newton, the show continues to shine. And it's a show 2025 champion William Byron hopes will feature primetime in 2027.
I hope they can just put a good, effort in for the fans to have something that's memorable. I'm not sure if it's going to be a day or a night race, but a night race I think is cool on 4th of July. So hopefully we can get back to doing those and see how it goes. I mean, it's a full repave, so we'll have a lot of learning for that.
You can't forget about that repave of this track either. The fastest short track on earth will get a makeover immediately after Victory Lane slowly clears up. Peterson confirmed that on Friday. It adds to his excitement. But after you see the highlights tonight at 10, will officially begin that countdown to next year. After an exciting 2026, 2027 will be on here at the Iowa Speedway. In Newton, I'm Trey Redfield, Local 5 Sports.
The Iowa State Fair is just days away, the moment many of us wait all year for. And here's a live look out at the fairgrounds. Not many people there now, but in just days it'll be filled with all our favorite stands, booths, and activities. And that means preparations are well underway, with vendors and fair officials working hard to get everything ready. But as Local 5's JD Snover reports, they're also asking fairgoers to give them some space while they do it.
When I think of the Iowa State Fair, I think of the Grand Concourse here, full of people excited to see their favorite artists on the grandstand. But the truth is, it takes a lot of work to get to that point. And as officials prepare for crowds, they're asking for a little bit of space.
At the Iowa State Fair, traditions are everywhere, including ones that start before gates even open.
The tradition of fair food vendors opening prior to the fair is long, longer than I've been alive.
CEO Jeremy Parsons says vendors have long used the days before the fair to train staff while feeding the crews getting the fairgrounds ready.
But with the advent of social media and some other components is more and more people have discovered that fair food is available ahead of the fair.
And with that awareness,
over the last couple years, we've really reached somewhat of a tipping point.
Comes larger crowds before they're supposed to arrive.
We are having to dedicate more of our resources towards keeping these pre-fair goers safe than we are to set up for the fair.
And even with those added resources, Parsons says the fairgrounds aren't fully ready.
We have you walk through magnetometers, for example, to keep out weapons. We also do not allow trucks and cars to drive up and down the Grand Concourse. But pre-fair, those things are not in place.
So he's asking for a little bit of patience.
We just ask Iowans to be respectful of the fact we're trying to get ready for Thursday.
In Des Moines, I'm JD Snover, Local 5 News.
Now families are starting to prepare what their budget may look like for the fair later this week. Local 5's Deja Garner shows us how to budget correctly.
Yeah, Stephanie, the fair is the biggest event of the year for many families, but it also may be the biggest budget this year. So today I talked with a financial expert on how everyone can save a little bit of money and have some fun. Take a look.
Thousands of families are planning to head to the Iowa State Fair starting Thursday, August 13th. And while the fair comes with plenty of fun, it also comes with a cost.
I would expect everything at the fair to be more expensive this year than last year just because of the rising cost of goods and services.
The co-founder of a financial group, Mark Triplett, says even though the inflation is pushing up prices, there are still ways you can save money, like buying tickets before the fair starts.
If by chance you're not able to get those advanced tickets, either online or at participating Hy-Vees, there are some other options like going on discount days and things like that.
For many, the food is the main attraction at the fair, but Triplett says those meals can be a little pricey, so you may want to consider eating before you go or bringing your own food.
So that way, when we do end up choosing different items, they're more treats rather than going there and trying to have meals.
And parking is another expense families can avoid by taking the shuttle.
There's actually a free shuttle back and forth between Southridge Mall. That's new for 2026. So that's another way to save.
Triplett also says he sets a budget for his children, giving them the freedom to decide how they want to spend their own money.
Give them $20 and let them spend it the way they want. But when it's gone, it's gone. And the pouty faces and the the little upset because we can't do something else that I want to do, but you already spent it on something else. That's just part of being a parent, saying, "Hey, that's how we negotiated this, and it's time to move on." And when we're done, we go home.
So the co-founder of the financial group says to try to get to the fair as early as you can. That way you can get the most of your experience and make your money stretch as far as possible. Stephanie?
Iowa is getting $2 million in federal dollars to improve access to the Des Moines River, building momentum toward the goal of attracting people from across the country to spend their money here. Local 5's Emily Carlson explains what's coming.
Well, Stephanie, there's plans for all kinds of outdoor activities, from kayaking and fishing to even whitewater rafting and surfing. The plan focuses on Birdland and Prospect Park, both areas that city, state, and federal leaders want to turn into world-class tourism attractions. A recent survey from the Greater Des Moines Partnership asked people what would attract them to move to Des Moines and outdoor recreation was in the top 3. The city has already spent $13 million between Birdland and Prospect Park, but most of that cleaning up flooding.
This is a place where the future of Iowa is also going to have an opportunity to experience more than just the fishing and boating that we just saw earlier today going on down here, bringing your dogs down. We're going to have a world-class whitewater track that goes through.
Representative Zach Nunn helped secure the $2 million in federal investment through the community project funding process. The city of Des Moines will administer the money. The most highly anticipated project on the river is called Principal Point. With its surf area enclosed by boulders, it will have artificially created waves. Eventually, there will be a larger whitewater park at Center Street with rafting excursions and kayak trips. Stephanie, who knew surfing in Iowa?
My mind is absolutely blown by that. That sounds like so much fun. I never would have put it on my bingo card, but there it is. In local politics now, Libertarian Lieutenant Governor candidate Jules Cutler is withdrawing her name from the November ballot. It comes after a Polk County judge ruled she and Marco Battaglia, the Libertarian 3rd congressional candidate, could not be on the ballot. Local 5's Alex Fulton is in studio with how the party is now moving forward. Alex.
Stephanie, the Iowa Libertarian Party has just a few days to replace 2 key candidates and hopefully get them on the ballot. The party is trying to do it through a process that they say has never been done before. The Iowa Libertarian Party was involved with Jules Cutler's decision to drop her bid for lieutenant governor.
We sat as a team and looked and said, okay, do you have the time, the energy, and the mental bandwidth? Like we all do, like every human being needs to be able to commit to this.
Last Monday, Marco Battaglia, the Libertarian candidate for the 3rd Congressional District, ended his campaign too.
After Battaglia dropped out due to a medical emergency, we looked around and said, well, if we're going to do it here, we need to do it as an all-encompassing strategy.
The all-encompassing strategy is for the party to select the replacement for Cutler and Battaglia. Members of the executive board will submit nominations for who they want to fill those positions.
Ultimately, we decided that with the ongoing court costs and the cases that continue to accumulate in both of them, we decided this was the best option.
The Iowa Libertarian Party's Central Committee will then meet virtually to vote on the final candidates at 8 p.m. on Wednesday. It won't be through a party convention, and per Iowa law, they have until August 19th to replace candidates who withdrew.
It would be a Herculean effort to get a 500-member nominating convention in less than 3 weeks. That's a tall order to have, which is why the vacancy protocol triggered.
I asked the party chair if she believes Libertarian governor candidate Nicholas Gluba will appear on the ballot when all is said and done.
That is the hope.
Now, after Wednesday's meeting, the candidates will have to complete a certificate of affidavit. The Libertarian Party chair does not believe that they will have to collect signatures through this process. Stephanie.
So I want you to get a load of this. So imagine being able to do what's sort of a DoorDash at the state fair.
Well, that is becoming a reality. Eat Foodie, a food delivery company, is bringing its service right to the Iowa State Fair this year. Local 5's Emma Stroner is live at the fairgrounds at one of its pickup hubs. Emma, how exactly does this service work?
Yeah, well, you can start by going to their website. It's just fair.eatfoodie.com. I'm on it right now. It's 2 days until it actually becomes usable. But if you scroll down, you're going to see all of the food options, all the vendors you can order from. You just order. It takes about an average of 20 minutes to get to one of these pickup hubs. And then once it's to the pickup hub, you're pretty much set. Now, we are in front of the one at the administration building, but there are 5 hubs located all across the grounds. Now, I spoke with the company just 1 week ahead of this one-of-a-kind launch.
Long lines in the Iowa State Fair pair better than almost any food combo. It's something we are all used to. But what if this year was different?
This is our first time collaborating with the Iowa State Fair.
Eat Foodie, a food ordering company, is doing something that no other state fair has done before. An express pickup service for all of your fair favorites.
It's kind of like a pilot thing. It's brand new.
Customers can go onto their website, place an order, Then 20 minutes later, their food is right there in one of Eat Foodie's pickup hubs.
You'll get like a text, hey, your order is ready. And then you could completely skip the line.
Completely skip the line. Social media manager Savannah Wynn says that comes in handy for parents with antsy kids, people with certain disabilities, or people who simply just don't want to wait.
The whole point of it is for everyone to have a good time at the state fair. You know, like the customers that want their food and not have to wait in line.
Wynn says they want to specifically highlight Asian and Hispanic foods, bringing them more exposure. She says she hopes this also brings a spotlight on vendors who don't get as much foot traffic.
They can get a lot more orders in that way as well. So it benefits both parties.
With just a couple days out from the fair, Eat Foodie will be busy, staffing 150 food runners across 5 pickup hubs at the grounds.
I'm really excited for this new project to happen. I'm also really nervous, but hopefully it all works well.
And when the fair starts on Thursday and then the 10 days following that, we are going to be checking in with Eat Foodie, but also checking in with attendees as well as vendors to see how this service is actually really working for them, see if it really does solve the problem of waiting in lines that are too long. Live in the Fairgrounds, Emma Stroner, Local 5 News.
Well, the community of Nevada is doing whatever they can to make sure the Starbucks drive-in can come back. About a month and a half ago, a fire spread throughout the building, causing major damage. Local 5's Alex Fulton went to a fundraiser to find out why it means so much to the community.
It's no secret that the people of Nevada care about the Starbucks drive-in. In times of tragedy, they show up. Everyone was trying to do their part to help raise the $300,000 to rebuild the restaurant.
Just for one more chance.
A hot day didn't deter people from flooding the Nevada band shell for a free concert.
When I heard about the situation, we just wanted to get involved and do something to try to help them out.
Chris Patterson and his band Great Caesar's Goat had a jar set out to collect donations for the Starbucks drive-in.
I've known Starbucks since I was a little kid, and we always went up for tenderloins and chocolate malts.
At the end of June, the community staple caught on fire. The building couldn't be salvaged and will have to be torn down and rebuilt from the ground up.
To have it not be here, we're kind of missing a piece of the community right now.
Before the concert, a long line formed inside the Nevada Senior Center. Starbucks owner Anna Sayer was serving up her signature beef burger.
It's been passed down for probably 70 years now. This is actually our 70-year anniversary this year.
People had the option to open up their wallets to support the rebuild efforts.
We just come together because we want to see our town flourish. And a lot of the small towns are disappearing, and we really want to keep ours alive.
The support means a lot to Sayer and her late wife, the old owner.
It's a great memory for Shelley, my spouse. She would be so proud of her town, of the way everyone's coming together.
A few weeks ago, Starbucks set up a booth when Ragbri Riders rolled through town. At that event, they raised $1,500. In Nevada, Alex Fulton, Local 5 News.
Well, the weather has the fair constantly adjusting their setup plans, which are in full swing right now. It takes 3.5 weeks to get everything moved in and loaded into its spot at the fairgrounds. That means it's a constant revolving door of semi-trucks in and out, and the weather determines what happens first and what waits until later. Today's rain had crews on pause for a few hours. The slight delay that won't impact tomorrow's opening day. The fair has just a little experience with all kinds of weather, being 170 years old.
Planning the fair, weather is a definite thing that we consider because we're an outdoor event. So we don't think the weather will hinder what you're doing at the fair because we have 14 inside locations or more that you can sit down, enjoy the fair.
Well, check out photography at the Cultural Building, groups like FFA and the Iowa Honey Producers at the Ag Building, and booths at the Varied Industries Building, which is also air-conditioned, a good one to remember there. And 42 years ago today on Des Moines' South Side, a similar situation. 13-year-old Eugene Martin disappeared while delivering newspapers on his route. As Local 5's J.D. Snover shows us, hope may be dwindling, but family members are still searching for answers.
A lot can happen in 42 short years.
I just don't know.
Few people understand that better
than Don DeLacca.
You know, it would be nice to have a closure.
It was 42 years ago today, police found a bag of newspapers they believed belonged to Eugene Martin, DeLacca's brother. Now, all these decades later, the family is still searching for answers. Times were different in the 1980s.
There was a lot of running around the neighborhood, you know, fishing, all kinds of outdoor stuff.
While the sun was up, kids were outside.
You didn't go home till the street lights came on.
But before it came up again, there were papers to deliver.
I helped my older brother deliver his papers every now and then. We switched back and forth.
But then there was the time
he hasn't even begun life yet.
His younger brother never came home.
I can't find him, so he's mine, you know.
Jim Rowley was a lead police officer in the case, but died almost 5 years ago, according to an obituary from the Iowa State Police Association. Des Moines police tell Local 5 the case remains, quote, open, and, quote, leads are followed as they are shared with us or developed otherwise. Still, DeLacca's hope is dwindling.
Do you still have hope that a search could come up something?
That's a double-edged sword. I don't know.
But it's not at zero.
I do this every year, and I'll do it till the day I die.
A lot has happened in the 42 years since Eugene Martin disappeared. But for DeLacca, there's still one thing that hasn't. In Des Moines, I'm J.D. Snover, Local 5 News.
Well, it's no secret Spider-Man Brand New Day broke records for its opening week performance. Now, for one local theater, that may be the difference on them staying open. Local 5's Brandon Wynn spoke with the owners about their superhero savior.
It's no secret that movie theaters are struggling, but for one historic Newton theater, a superhero helped save the day.
For 99 years, the Capitol 2 Theater in Newton has been giving moviegoers memories for a lifetime.
You know, sometimes we can have stores come and go, but the theater has been a constant for the last 99 years.
For 14 years, Dawn Bleeker, along with her husband, have owned the theater, with help from their beloved pet pigs. But now, they're facing some challenges.
At the last few years, I've wondered if I should close the doors.
The business has struggled to stay afloat since COVID, leading them to seek other money-making opportunities, even creating a haunted house for the public.
That was one way we stayed open. So then we'd have the kids watch a PG movie, PG-13 movie, scary movie, and then we would take them down here.
But now, this year is back on track due to a Friendly Neighborhood box office hit.
Spider-Man saved the day, yes. Yeah.
The release of Spider-Man Brand New Day was huge across America, but for this movie theater, it meant keeping the doors open.
If you can stay local first, that's even better, because then it's going to, because one day if you don't do that, then you may not have the local theater or the local store or the local whatever.
For Newton, the Capitol 2 surviving means a little piece of Newton history gets to see a brand new day.
If we don't have a community or a theater in town, I don't know, there'd be a hole in the community. I mean, definitely there'd be a void.
In Newton, Brandon Wynn, Local 5 News.
Well, to kick off the Iowa State Fair, a pair of friends hosted a camper crawl at the campgrounds. It is a way for people to meet the people that they will be living next to for the next week and a half. Local 5's Alex Fulton shares why the campgrounds are so special for so many.
The Iowa State Fair Campgrounds is home to plenty of its stories. No matter where you turn, you'll find traditions, old and new, that span generations. Traditions often start with the people you love.
So I met my husband, married my husband, and I've been coming here since 2008.
Every fair, it's tradition for Emily Saboski and her husband to stay at the campgrounds.
My family has been camping here ever since World War II in a permanent spot.
3 years ago,
So we're going to be here for a little bit longer.
a new tradition was started by close friends Heather Mercer and Crystal Hammis.
We were all just hanging around at a campsite, I guess it was, one year, and we're like, how fun would it be to have a camper crawl?
Think of it like a bar crawl, except with RVs. A group of people started a campsite, eating food and drinking alcohol that's provided by the host. After 15 minutes, they move on to the next stop.
It's the same story across the board. It's everyone's family tradition. We all share the same theme.
Many of those who host the hundreds of people have been in on it since the start.
You meet a lot of nice people. Everybody's kind, and they're very grateful of what we're doing.
Just like the tradition of staying on the grounds, the camper crawl brings multiple generations together.
It's the 2 weeks out of the year we can get everyone away from the farm and just enjoy each other and have fun.
In Des Moines, Alex Fulton, Local 5 News.
All right, well, a lot of attention during these next 11 days will be on the fairgrounds themselves, and rightfully so. But right next door, there are people working to pay bills and just raise their kids. Local 5's J.D. Snover shows us how.
All right.
In the shadows of the fairgrounds,
I'm gonna move that garbage can and just back it in right here. You can hug up against this Lincoln as much.
there's grass, lots of it. And on a day like this, it's mostly mud. 11 months a year, this is just someone's yard.
It's not hard to get full over here.
But for these 11 days, it's a cash cow, or should I say bear, for Jason Lampman.
Dave's pretty easy. Just send them up there and they come back.
And those kids
In the second year, we actually took a vacation to California and
are the whole reason Lampman does it.
let him waste it the first year. And I was like, we're gonna do something responsible with it every other year now.
A few houses down, at Shane Bainter's place.
When I was growing up, we would never get cars down this far, but over the years, it's grown.
And with it,
Keep coming.
a tradition.
I pretty much have all regulars. Pretty much every day, I'll get just regulars.
And while this year kicked off with more mud than sun,
Let's get a bag of seed. They'll come back. Grass grows.
just in time for another 11 months of just being somebody's yard. Near the fairgrounds, I'm J.D. Snover, Local 5 News.
In Waukee, a proposal to modify a current ban on children playing in the street is stirring up controversy. Local 5's Brandon Wynn spoke with the city on why they feel it's necessary.
The city of Waukee has proposed an ordinance that would make it a misdemeanor for children to play in the street. The community has mixed feelings. The proposal is something that the city felt was necessary.
We've had some issues in certain neighborhoods where we have children playing in the street.
City Administrator Brad Dietz shared how the concern comes from when driveways are blocked, traffic interrupted, or the child's safety is threatened.
The current ordinance would have to be against the child. And we're certainly not interested from a city perspective in charging a child with any violation of an ordinance.
The proposed modification to the current law would shift guilt from the child to the parent, something some Waukee citizens like Bev Claxton are in support of.
We've got plenty of parks and, close by fields and stuff they can play in. I just don't, it's a very dangerous thing for them to do.
The proposition is not without its detractors. On the popular Facebook group Walkie Talkie, some commenters said, quote, rules were made to be broken, this is one of them. Or, quote, I see no reason the current leaders should retain seats in the next election cycle. But other citizens, like Amanda Harrison, feel it's a question of safety.
I just support it just because of the safety of children not playing out in the street. Maybe having parents a little bit more on board of watching the kids.
The proposal is on its first of 3 required readings before approval, and Dietz says the misdemeanor charge would only be given if necessary.
Are we going to crack down on some kids that are playing kickball in the street? Probably not. We're not going to be, out there looking for it specifically. If we receive a complaint from a surrounding neighbor who can't get in their driveway, or there's, concerns just relative to harming the children, then we have to be able to address that.
In Waukee, Brandon Wynn, Local 5 News.
Tonight, we're here to give you a recap of day 1 of the 2026 Iowa State Fair. It's still going on. You can see people milling around.
Yeah, today was the day, and it truly was awesome out there. And we'll have a look at all the fun and some of that rain that hit the fairgrounds early this morning.
But before we get to the storms, Local 5 photojournalist Louis Jordan was out at the fairgrounds today for a recap of day 1. Here's a look.
I just love coming here every year. It's really fun.
We have tried a lot of pickle things. We tried the pickle corn dog, the pickle cheese curds, onion pickle cheese curds. Those were pretty good. Those have probably been my favorite so far.
decided to get the cookies later, and I was really looking forward to going through all the animal buildings. I like looking at the butter cow every year. I liked, obviously, the cow, and I liked the one that was like the spinning Pepsi sign.
Happy Iowa State Fair.
It's one vendor at the Iowa State Fair is celebrating a big milestone.
Gizmo, the popular Italian sandwich stand, is marking 80 years at the fair. Local 5's Emma Stroner joins us live from the fairgrounds. And Emma, is Gizmo doing anything special for 80 years?
Well, they have a new selfie station. They also have a spicy Italian sausage dog, and we would show you the front of the stands, but we are inside right now just to stay safe from the lightning. But don't worry, you'll get to see the stand here in a second. But the new owner, he's Corey Steiner, and he's been an owner for about a couple of years now, but he's really making sure that the love so many fairgoers have for the Gizmo is staying alive.
And a big pile of mozzarella cheese.
Although it was a rainy day,
We're ready for the 2026 Iowa State Fair. Rain or shine,
it was still a special one for one vendor at the Iowa State Fair.
Gizmo's open. We're gonna provide sandwiches for everybody. All I gotta do is get some bread.
80 years. That's the anniversary this Italian sausage stand is celebrating in 2026.
Carl started this in 46. Carla took it his 50th year. And then I think it's just been a family staple.
Now under new ownership,
Last year I bought it from Carla.
Corey Steiner is now running the Gizmo stand in both Iowa and Minnesota. Only one has that 80-year title, though. In the celebration, Steiner says Gizmo will be selling a new spicy Italian sausage dog and sharing the spotlight with another anniversary.
We got a little selfie station this year for the 80th Gizmo and then 250th for America. It's kind of cool that they're both the same year.
It's a unique moment Steiner isn't commemorating alone, because between two stands and some days nearing 10 hours open,
I'm just winging it.
he's got some backup.
Today I just got my wife and I got Marco. He's in there cooking. He's been with me for a couple years now, and honestly I couldn't do it without either one of them.
And for the next 80 years, more backup that eventually will be in his shoes. Do you think you could see one day, like, your kids, like, owning this place, you think, something like that?
That's the goal.
And something brand new this year is they're making every single sandwich to order. So when you go up to the stand, you'll get it nice and fresh. They aren't worried about getting too backed up because they have an oven that can make multiple at a time. So shouldn't have any problems getting a Gizmo sandwich this Iowa State Fair year. Live from the fairgrounds, Emma Stroner, Local 5 News.